is Mouse, and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I'm also known as Andy, and I talk about books. Today we're going to be talking about my December TBR. Now, I will admit that it is currently November 5th, and normally I don't have my TBRs ready so early, but because of the readathon I was able to get it ready early. So I'm going to let you know what the prompt is and then what books I'll be reading for that prompt. This is for the Clear Your Shit readathon. Also, disclaimer, I will be talking about the books that I'm going to be reading for the mini boss battles that only me and my co-hosts know the prompts for at this time. However, I'm not going to tell you what the prompt is. I'm just going to tell you that it's for the boss battles, and you can make a guess. So, also, there is a prompt that is something you don't remember the details about, a book that you don't remember the details about, and so because of that I won't be going over what the book is about because I'd like to maintain my not knowing. So the first prompt that will be coming out in December is a character you'll want to fight, and I have chosen Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, The Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare, and Red Rising by Pierce Brown. The only one that I'm not 100% sure if there will be anybody I want to fight is the Red Rising book, because I don't know a ton about it, but I do know it was really, really popular. It's a sci-fi dystopian book with a caste system and government lies, right? Sounds like where we're headed sometimes. With Good Omens, I know that there's a character that I'll want to fight because I read part of the book already. So the demon characters that are like main demon guy has to fight and deal with, they're people that I would want to fight. And with the Shadowhunters Codex, there is almost always someone in Cassandra Clare's books that I want to fight, so I think that that was a good pick for me. The next one is going to be friend recommended. For this prompt, I did pick 4 books, but it's 5 books, but it's because 2 of them are graphic novels. The first one is Secret of the Princess. It is a Yuri manga, and I have her up here. Secret of the Princess. My friend Alu bought it for me, and I'm really excited to get to reading it. It is sort of like a blackmail dating situation gone right. So very excited to get to read it. The second one that I'm going to read is Are You Listening by Tilly Walden. This is something that my friend Carly recommended. Well, really Carly recommended me all of Tilly Walden's books, any of them, and so I've chosen this one because I happen to already have it. 99 Red Balloons by Elizabeth Carpenter, which was a horror book recommended to me, I believe, by my sister-in-law. Not totally sure, but it is a true crime kidnapping book. Then Sight Witch by Susan Dennard, which is the prequel to the Witchland series, which I'm reading in November, and it was recommended to me by my friend Caitlin. And then The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, which was recommended to me by my sister Lena. It is a book about a guy that basically has forbidden magic, and he is the apprentice to an assassin, as the title would say. Obviously I haven't read it, so I can't give you a ton of info. Next prompt is a book you don't remember what it's about. The first one is Wonderland by Zoja Stage. The second is The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth Durst, which is an ARC. And The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth, which is also an ARC. Then for our first mini boss battle in December, I think the only mini boss battle in December, I will be reading Bloom Into You, the comic, or the graphic novel, manga, which is a Yuri. It's just a Yuri romance book. I'll be reading Queen of the Damned by Anne Rice, which is the 3rd book in the Vampire Chronicles book. Essentially, the Queen of the Damned wakes up after 6,000 years, and Lestat is a rock star for some strange reason. And then The Fuck It Diet by Caroline Dooner, which is a self-help book that is anti-diet. I've had that one for about 2 years, back at the beginning of my recovery from my eating disorder, and I never got around to reading it. After that, we have a free book space, so I will be reading We Play Ourselves by Jen Silverman. It is a contemporary ARC with a queer main character, and she is a young playwright, essentially, and she kind of goes on this journey to see if fame is worth it. Then Bloom Into You, the light novel, which is this one, and it is about Sayaka, who is the main character of this girl's best friend, basically, and it's about her coming to terms with her sexuality. And then The Boy on the Bridge by M.R. Carey, which is a sequel to The Girl with All the Gifts. If you haven't watched the movie or read the book, I really suggest you do. It's a pretty good zombie book. I don't know what this is about. I read what it was about, but I still don't know what it's about, so I'm really excited to read it. The next one is going to be, the next prompt is going to be a book with a map in it. And the first book for that is The Secret Starling by Judith Eagle. I don't actually know if there's a map in this book or not. I just really wanted to read it and couldn't find a place for it. Basically, it's a middle grade with really big series of unfortunate events vibes. It's like orphans who are solving like a mystery. So, then The Elf Queen of Shannara by Terry Brooks. It's the third book in the Heritage of Shannara series, and it just resolves, or it's about... There was like a prophecy in the first book where each of these characters had to go find something, and it's about one of those characters on their journey to find that. And then Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, which I just want to see what the hype is about, honestly. It's been recommended to me repeatedly. I own the first book, so I kind of figure I may as well go ahead and read it since I own it, see if it's worth the hype for me. It might not be, but I like Sarah J. Maas's writing. Then the next prompt is oldest book by publication date. So that will be The Talismans of Shannara by Terry Brooks, and that is the last book in the Heritage of Shannara series. It's all a part of the bigger Shannara series, right? Kind of like how the Shadowhunters has a bunch of mini-series. High fantasies often do that. I don't know what it's about. I know that it's the end of those. So, then Vampire Chronicles, the fourth book, which is The Tale of the Body Thief by Anne Rice. Essentially, Lestat is lonely. That's all I got from the summary, was that Lestat do be lonely, and it's because Lestat sucks, right? So, and then The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, which is the sequel to the first Mistborn book, which I will be reading next week, actually, so I'm a little nervous about that. Our next prompt that I will be telling you books about is pre-order or a book with a sequel. I will be reading The Camelot Betrayal by Kiersten White. I have The Guinevere Deception, which is the first book, and it was one of the first books that I bought solely because of a booktuber's recommendation, and that was because of Boston Reads. They have very similar opinions, or like they read really similar books that I do. And they also were the ones that were the one that was really excited about The Guinevere Deception, and they constantly talked about it, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to pick it up and read it, and I don't regret it. And I have the Owl Crate edition of it, and I love it. So I'm very excited about The Camelot Betrayal, which is the sequel. I couldn't tell you what it's about because I just know that it was the sequel, and I was like, I'm pre-ordering this. Then Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, which is the sequel to Red Rising. And Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, which is the sequel in the Witchland series, which again at this current time of filming, I have not read the Witchland series yet. I'm starting it in next week, I think. The next prompt is Shiny Cover or a Magical Object. Admittedly, I have no books that fit this prompt because all of the books that I am reading or have had left to fit into this prompt are ebooks or audiobooks, and so I could not tell you if those covers are shiny. So I kind of treated this as more of a free space because I didn't have books to fill my own reading prompt. I'm one of those people. So luckily with the readathon, as I have said repeatedly and as narrator has said repeatedly, it's very much do your own thing and choose your own adventure. So I'm treating this prompt as a choose your own adventure and picking whatever books I want for them. So the first one is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. It's kind of like Dead Man Wonderland if you've ever seen that anime. It's what it sounds like, basically like a death prison where they have to like fight club it out, I think. And it's an arc. Very excited to read that, but there's also a plague going on in the middle of this like thing, and they have elemental battles. So interesting. Again, seems very much like Dead Man Wonderland in concept. I don't know about in execution. Wayward Witch by Zoraida Cordova, which is the third book in the Brooklyn Brujas series, continuing off from the second book. This one is an either or, and it kind of is my mood read pick, is either Morning Star, the third book in the Pierce Brown series, or Blood Witch, the third book from Susan Dennard's Witchland series. So that could go either way. It just kind of depends on how I'm feeling about either series at the time. Then we have the free book space, where I will be reading The Silent Wife by Karen Slatter. It's about a Georgia Bureau investigations worker who is investigating a murder. I believe kids die. The Gift by Lewis Hyde, which is a philosophy book about creativity that Bella bought me, and Naturally Tan by Tan France, which is an autobiography from Queer Eyes Tan France. I have the audiobook and he reads it, and I enjoyed it when I first listened to it. However, I never finished it, so my intention is to then finish it. And for the final boss battle, which I'm not telling you what the prompts are for it or how it works since none of the boss battles have been announced yet, they will be by the time this video uploads. For the boss battle, I will be reading All Our Hidden Gifts by Carolyn O'Donoghue. It's queer witches, gay witches, gay witchcraft. I don't think I need to say more than that. You guys know that that's very much my vibe. Gay witches. It's an arc that I got approved for and I'm very excited to read. This Spell Can't Last by Isabel Sterling, which is a prequel to The Witches Don't Burn, to These Witches Don't Burn. Also, queer witches. Queer witches. That's it. That's my vibe, right? And then the last one for the final boss battle is The Castle School for Troubled Girls by Alyssa Scheinmel. It's a book about it's like a psychological contemporary about a boarding school where troubled girls get sent, and it's kind of like, do we know what's going on? Like, is everything okay? What's the vibe? You don't know. So that's what I'm really excited to be reading this month. Lots of arcs and lots of books, about 36 books. Generally when I plan my TBRs, I only plan about 20 books because it gives me more opportunity to mood read, but I really wanted to yeet all of my owned books and finally be starting fresh for 2020. So that's still very much my goal, and that's very much why I created the readathon, so I'm excited to keep it going. That's it. I hope you guys are having a great day and a great week, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. As of right now, there's 500 of you, and that is absolutely mind-boggling to me since that was next year's goal. So thank you to all of you who have subscribed and hung out with me in the live reading sprints and that kind of thing, and I hope you guys will join me for more. And all of the important links will be down below, including my full TBR list for the Clear Your Shit readathon, as well as just the December books. Bookshelf that gets updated as I finish books. So don't forget to check those out. I hope you guys are having a great day. I will see you later. Bye!